applause in honor of the class of 2026. please remain standing and welcome Carly Swallow, a member of the class of 2026 from the University of Utah School of Music, who will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, today is about celebrating the class of 2026. While we support free expression on our campus, we ask guests to be respectful of our graduates and to not disrupt today's event. Guests who choose to be disruptive will be escorted from the arena. If you are seated in a row where people are exiting, please let them pass. And now please welcome University of Utah President Taylor Randall.
Well, hello, class of 2026. Congratulations, you did it. I've just got to say, you look fabulous. You look poised to take the world. Some of you look a little bit surprised. So am I, but we made it together. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate this evening with you. As we begin commencement, I want to introduce and welcome some guests to the stage. I'd ask them to please stand as they are announced and remain standing. Audience, if you wouldn't mind holding your applause until we've recognized everyone. Members of the President's Cabinet and University Administration. Members of the Utah Board of Higher Education, Amanda Covington, Garrett Largent, Javier Chavez Jr., Jeremy Hafen. Utah System of Higher Education Associate Commissioner T.J. Bliss. Former University of Utah President Geraldine McIntyre. And especially visiting presidents from our fellow universities, Greg Peterson, Salt Lake Community College, C. Shane Reese, Brigham Young University, Alvin Meredith III, Brigham Young University, Idaho, Jon S. Coway, Brigham Young University, Hawaii, Brian Ashton, BYU Pathway Worldwide, and the Commissioner of Education for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, James Rasband. Members of the University of Utah Board of Trustees, Katie Eccles, Chair, Randy Shumway, Vice Chair, Alex Rose, Kurt Doman, Christina Huntsman, Kathy Garf, Bassam Salem, Karen Marriott, and Jamie Sorensen. Our state and local leaders, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, Senator Chris Wilson, Representative Karen Peterson, the deans and directors of the university's schools, colleges, museums, and other invited guests. Welcome, thank you for being here. You may be seated. Believe it or not, tonight marks the 157th General Commencement at the University of Utah. For more than a century and a half, the University of Utah has served the state as its flagship university. We are part of a legacy that honors the value of education. We stand on the shoulders of giants who believe truth, knowledge, and the pursuit of a better world through learning would make us all better. We were one of the first universities in the American West And ever since, our students have gone on to make their mark not only in Utah, but in the world, and we are still climbing. We are an engine of impact, and you, each of you, are now part of that impact. In total, believe it or not, we celebrate a record 9,506 graduates tonight. From anthropology and ballet to engineering and urban ecology, every corner of our university is represented. We are joined by graduating students from our Utah Asia campus who've completed their programs through study both here and at our campus in South Korea. This year, for the first time, students from the University of Utah Asia campus are graduating with master's degrees in communication as well as honors undergraduate degrees. I look forward to honoring all 135 graduating students in Incheon next month. Congratulations. This talented class of 2026 has come to us from 26 Utah counties, 51 states and territories, and 61 countries. Our oldest graduate is 79. Even more remarkably, our youngest graduate is 18. What were you all doing at 18? Our largest group of graduates comes from the Department of Psychology. Let's give it up for our future mental health professionals. Graduates, each of you have sacrificed and succeeded as students. If you look at the peaks around this campus, they're an inspiring symbol of all that you have overcome to get this far. Despite whatever difficulties you faced, I have seen you remain resilient and optimistic about your future. As you look at the summits yet to come, know that you have the you behind you and the world of opportunity before you. Your creativity, innovative spirit, and entrepreneurialism are inspiring. I am filled with hope as I watch you go forward in your journey, and we are cheering you on. You know, it's my pleasure to highlight just a few of our remarkable students from the class of 2026. First, I want to recognize an exceptional student veteran, Isabel Goliamu. Friends call her Belle. Belle was an airman first class in the Air Force before she faced medical retirement. A year ago, when Belle was just 24, she was diagnosed with cancer. She heard the news on her birthday 1 week into spring semester. So rather than withdrawing, Belle kept going. She juggled oncologist appointments and with assignments and still got everything turned in on time. She even took a test over Zoom while recovering from surgery. Now she is graduating with a degree in strategic communication from the College of Humanities. Belle has earned a degree that will help in her career, but most of all, she's learned that she has immense inner strength. With that kind of fortitude, I believe nothing will stand in her way. Belle, would you please stand so that we can applaud your courage? You are inspiring. In total, we have 373 student veterans graduating today. They're wearing a red, white, and blue cord. Let's all take a moment to recognize the student veterans, along with all veterans who are with us here this evening. If you're able, would you please stand? Thank you for your service to our great country. Next, I'd like to tell you about one of our student athletes who's excelled in the classroom, the community, and in the gymnastics arena. McKenna Smith is no stranger to performing under pressure. Her ability to shine under intense circumstances has served her as a student, making the Dean's List 5 times and the athletics honors roll 4 times. But that is nothing compared to the strength she showed to become a 12-time All-American, the 2025 Big 12 Bars Champion, and the 2026 Big 12 Vault Champion. This year, as team captain, she led the Red Rocks to become Big 12 champions for the 2nd year in a row. She also leads in the community. She heads Utah Athletics Service Partnership with the Ronald McDonald House by providing volunteer opportunities to more than 400 student athletes at the U. She graduates with a double major in psychology and criminology. I believe her impact will continue. McKenna, would you please stand, and congratulations. We would like to salute you. McKenna is joined by 96 University of Utah student athletes graduating today. Let's give them all a round of applause. Finally, I want to tell you about Varuna Ravi. Her life took her around the world before she came to the University of Utah Asia campus and the U here in Salt Lake. Before she started college, Varuni had already lived in India, Korea, and Singapore, and she already spoke several different languages. Still, she was a self-proclaimed introvert. When she transferred to the Salt Lake City campus, she experienced culture shock and loneliness. That experience presented the opportunity that Varuni says was life-changing. Little by little, she found her ways to build her own community. She developed friendships, she let go of her fears, and she even learned how to ski. How about that? Now she knows that she can leave her comfort zone and talk to anyone. As she plans to pursue a master's degree to become a social worker in India, that skill will become priceless. Varuni, we wish you the best as well. Will you please stand so we can salute you? All of you have your own amazing stories of success and resilience. And while we can't tell every single story today, let's have another round of applause, and let me hear it for all of our graduates. And I know all of you graduates feel a deep sense of gratitude for everyone who has supported and encouraged you on your path to graduation. Would you all stand and give a shout out to your friends, family, and faculty, staff who have helped you reach that goal? Now, please welcome Mitzi Montoya, Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, to highlight our faculty award recipients.
It is my pleasure to recognize the extraordinary faculty being honored this year for their work as teachers, researchers, and scholars. On your way into the arena this evening, you may have noticed the video playing on the big screen that highlighted each of our faculty award winners, and they're also listed in your program. The University of Utah has a long history of breakthrough discoveries and innovations, but institutions do not accomplish great things. It's the people at them who do. Faculty are the lifeblood of our institution. We are known as a place where people come to do and be a part of work that elevates our society and world. This year, we honor 38 faculty award winners and an outstanding public school teacher. Each of them has had substantial impact. Here are just 2 examples. Florian Solzbacher, a newly named distinguished professor. He's a scientist, an engineer, an inventor, a teacher, and a mentor in the Jon M College of Engineering. The co-founder of BlackRock Neurotech He brings an entrepreneurial approach to his work and goes above and beyond to support all who work with him. Saskia Spies is an assistant professor in the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine, and he's the recipient of one of this year's Early Career Teaching Awards, her. Her approach to standardizing prenatal care processes, implementing OB safety conferences, and boosting collaboration has elevated clinical quality and educational rigor. All of these talented colleagues from across our campus inspire, challenge, and elevate those around them. Would all of our faculty award winners please stand, and will you join me in applauding them? Thank you for all you do, and thank you for your ongoing inspiration. And now, please, will you welcome to the podium Dr. Bob Carter, Executive Vice President for Health Sciences.
I am now pleased to announce the recipient of the Rosenblatt Prize for Excellence, the highest honor the University of Utah can bestow upon a faculty member. The prize recognizes achievement that transcends the ordinary in teaching, research, and service. It is awarded by the president of the university based on the recommendations of a distinguished selection committee. The 2026 recipient of the Rosenblatt Prize for Excellence is Dr. Brenda Bass, Distinguished Professor of Biochemistry. Professor Bass, please join me at the podium. To say that Professor Bass is a leader in ribonucleic acid research is an understatement. Over her half-century career in science, Professor Bass has helped unlock some of the deepest mysteries of RNA. Thanks to her work, we know that RNA is a powerful player in biology, as it carries the instructions for DNA to synthesize proteins in living cells. Her research fundamentally changed how scientists understand RNA by illuminating its ability to edit genetic information, regulate genes, and shape immune responses. Professor Bass joined the University of Utah in 1989 as an assistant professor and has held the H.A. and Edna Benning Endowed Chair since 2009 and the Jon M. Huntsman Presidential Chair since 2019. She's an elected member of the National Academy of Sciences and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. In February, she received the RNA Society's Lifetime Achievement Award. She's an inspiring figure at all levels, both for her analytic rigor and outstanding mentorship. She's a trailblazer in her field and a generous servant to the U community. Professor, thank you. You are a recipient of the 2026 Rosenblatt Prize. Congratulations.
Hello, I am Lori McDonald, the Vice President for Student Affairs, and I would like to add my congratulations to the class of 2026. It is also my honor to introduce our student speaker tonight. Baccalaureate students demonstrating exceptional academic success were invited to submit a written essay for consideration by a selection committee of students, faculty, and staff. More than 100 outstanding students were considered to represent the graduates here tonight. All of the finalists' speeches were heartfelt and worthy, but Gerald Parrott was the unanimous choice of the committee. His journey to the University of Utah started at one of the lowest points of his life. He relied on hope to overcome the extreme challenges that led to his situation. It was not easy. But Jerry overcame instability, addiction, homelessness, among a list of other struggles, to speak to us today. Now, after 4 years, he's graduating with degrees in criminology and psychology. He has dreams of keeping his education going even after he graduates. His story is an inspiring lesson in endurance. Please welcome Gerald Parrott.
President Randall, distinguished guests, and my fellow graduates. I can tell you this is a lot different than an AA meeting. If you had told me in my 20s that the moment that would change my life forever would happen while sitting in a jail cell, I would have called you crazy. My life mostly consisted of chasing whatever numbed me the fastest. I drank heavily, I used drugs, I neglected my relationships and my family, and I paid no attention to the warning signs that were everywhere in my life. Eventually, everything collapsed. I lost my job, my marriage ended, I had no stability, and I spent years in addiction, homelessness, repeatedly going to jail, and in a state of mind I can only describe as simply existing. I didn't care whether I lived or died, as long as I didn't have to feel or remember anything. Then, while sitting in jail, I found out I was going to be a father. That moment changed everything. My life wasn't just about me anymore. Having my son, Kylo, meant that I now have someone that depends on me, someone that looks up to me. And I needed him to see what hard work, discipline, and responsibility look like. And that led me back to school. When I came back, I had to sign an academic probation contract because my GPA was at a 1.67. To a lot of people, that's just a number on a transcript. But to me, it measured how lost I had been. Today, that number starts with a 3. The University of Utah took a chance on me, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I came here only expecting to obtain a degree, but I also found self-respect. The student body accepted me, and the professors pushed me to be more than I thought I was capable of being. They gave me leadership skills I never knew I had, and the confidence to do scary things, like standing here talking in front of all of you today. The University of Utah helped forge me into the person standing here today, a father, a college graduate, and someone hoping to get into law school. Now, thank you. I'm telling you my story to show you that life does not move in straight lines. Life is messy. Our plans don't always work out. Our priorities change. People come and go from our lives. Things fall apart. We make bad decisions, experience failure, and we suffer the consequences. Now, whether you came here straight up from high school, came back after years away, built families before finishing your degree, or, like me, you found yourself in places you never would have imagined, each of us chose to change our paths and to change ourselves. And whatever path brought you here, you showed up. And not only did you show up, you succeeded. To my fellow graduates, while having a degree from the University of Utah does give you a leg up, it doesn't make everything easy. There are going to be times when you wonder if you're on the right path, where the effort might not seem worth it, where quitting feels like it's the only option left. I know those feelings well, and not only is it okay, it's human. Times like these allow us to check in with ourselves and to course correct. Now, I know my story doesn't make me special, but the thing that is special is all of us here today who chose to work for a better future. Thank you, Kylo, for giving me mine. I will leave you all with this. If you ever find yourself in a time where everything feels hopeless, just remember, keep showing up, because no matter how impossible things feel, the lowest point in your life might be the moment your real story begins. Congratulations, class of 2026. Go Utes.
Gerald, that was simply amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. And just remember, hitting rock bottom and climbing up is pretty difficult. By not giving up, you've earned a level of experience, empathy that will help you lift others. And your words remind us to have courage and persist through any adversity. And Congratulations on completing your degree. You're going to be one heck of an attorney. It's now my pleasure to invite Katie Eccles, Chair of the University's Board of Trustees, to confer our honorary degrees. Chair Eccles.
Congratulations, class of 2026. We can't wait to see all of the amazing things that you are going to do. And now it's my pleasure this time of the year, on this special occasion, the University of Utah confers honorary doctoral degrees to those individuals whose service to the university and community is so significant, it warrants the highest recognition that the university can give. On behalf of the university's Board of Trustees, tonight I will introduce 3 individuals who have earned this prestigious honor. We award the first honorary doctoral degree to Clark D. Ivory.
There was never a question in Clark Ivory's mind about which university he would attend. He was read from the beginning.
I never thought of going any place but the University of Utah undergrad. I grew up here going to basketball and football games and loved everything about the U.
After receiving his political science degree from the U and earning an MBA from Harvard Business School, Clark returned to help his father's business at Ivory Homes.
My dad, didn't really want me to go into the family business. He had ridden the roller coaster of the real estate market up and down, and he could see that it was going to be a really challenging time. But then I saw how hard he was working, and I was so impressed by his tenacity that I wanted to be a part of it.
In 2000, Clark followed in his father's footsteps and took over the family business, where under his leadership, he helped shape communities across our state.
I remember when Clark became the guy at Ivory Homes, and all of a sudden it expanded in new ways. More housing choices, more types of housing, more geographies all over the state. And very soon became the state's largest home builder.
Beyond his work with Ivory Homes, Clark, along with his wife Christine, formed the Clark and Christine Ivory Foundation to increase access to education, affordable housing, and sustainable communities, including right here on campus through the Ivory University House, showing just how reliable Clark has always been.
He has a way of inviting conversation. I think more than anything, it's just the trust he's earned, the track record he has over so much time and so many issues where he has delivered for this community.
So what advice does this master builder have for the graduating class of 2026?
Work with people they can trust. Second, look for opportunities where they can learn. And third, ask themselves how they will make an impact that will be substantial over time. And if those are the 3 areas that they focus on, they're going to love life.
Will Clark Ivory please rise, and will trustees Randy Shumway and Jamie Sorensen please escort him to the podium. In consideration of his lifelong dedication to improving access to higher education, his advocacy for students, innovative efforts to provide sustainable housing and community building opportunities, and for his dedicated leadership to this university's governing board, the University of Utah, with the approval of its Board of Trustees, presents to Clark Ivory the Doctor of Humane Letters honorary degree. Congratulations, Dr. Ivory. Oh, I thought I gave you this. Congratulations, Dr. Ivory. Our next recipient is Elder Ronald A. Rasband.
Meet Elder Ronald Rasband, the son of a truck driver father and a no-nonsense mother. His childhood showed young Ron the value of working hard.
My parents taught me the value of work earlier, and even though I was recruited to play on the football team and wrestling, which I both could have done, I chose to have a job instead. And I worked, and it's part of the continuation of my value system about work.
Ronald's work ethic was noticed by one Jon M. Huntsman Sr. And while in his senior year at the U, Jon gave him the opportunity of his life, which meant that Ronald had to decide between finishing school or starting his career early. He chose the latter, eventually creating a lasting legacy at Huntsman Chemical for 22 years. Even after a long career, and now as apostle for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there was always one thing missing from Ronald's lifetime of service: the degree from the University of Utah he never received.
I have given many speeches in my life when I've almost apologized to people that I wasn't able to finish my undergraduate degree. So this for me is coming full circle now. It's like, are you kidding? You're going to offer me this degree, and I'm going to be able to put on my resumes now, honorary doctorate, University of Utah.
With a storied history of leading and helping others, Ronald's advice to the graduating class comes straight from the heart.
Love who you're called, assigned, chosen to work with, serve with, marry, raise up as children. Love your fellow man. Look for the good in people. Diminish what you may consider the bad in people, and build up their good points, and you'll always be blessed in return by how you treat people with love.
Will Ronald A. Rasband please rise? And will Trustee Christina Huntsman and Kurt Dirks, Dean of the David Eccles School of Business, please escort him to the podium. In recognition of his critical support of Utah's public and private higher education institutions, his long career as a business leader in the community, and with appreciation for his compassionate work as a world faith leader, the University of Utah, with the approval of its Board of Trustees, presents to Ronald A. Rasband the Doctor of Business honorary degree. Congratulations, graduate, Dr. Rasband. Our next recipient is Michi White.
Michi White carries a simple belief that challenges don't have to limit us. They can lead us to something more.
I had self-esteem issues, and I realized that it was experiences which helps create self-worth. And so as I eventually matured, I thought, gosh, it would be really great if there was a place where people could come and learn to feel better about themselves.
That vision took shape in 1985 when Michi co-founded the Park City Handicap Sports Association, opening winter sports to Vietnam veterans with disabilities. What began as a single program has grown into the National Ability Center, now serving thousands each year across more than 20 different adaptive sports and activities.
Skiing is like a drug almost for people who really love it. And so I just couldn't get enough of skiing. And in seeing people with disabilities learn to ski, it was like magic. They would go out and they would do something that they never thought they could do. And all of a sudden, the world of possibilities opens wide open. And it's an amazing thing if you can take somebody out and have an experience in 2 hours and change their life.
It is special, but it's something that's a right, and it's something that should be part of the human experience. And she just knew that from the very beginning of why this mission was so important.
Around the world, the National Ability Center has made a wide-reaching impact, touching families, communities, even governments. But its true power is found in the individual, in those quiet, remarkable moments of personal breakthrough.
I've seen kids take their first steps. I've heard them make them first sounds, which was humming, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on a horse. And her mom and everybody was just flabbergasted.
She has put her heart and soul behind something that not everyone would have had the determination and the grit and the care to continue on.
As she reflects on a lifetime of opening doors for others, Michi's message to graduates stays true to her roots of service.
If I could say anything to the class of 2026, I would say for me, the reward is deep in the intrinsic value of those one person at a time who is touched by the programs. That mission is all-powerful.
Will Michi White please rise, and will Trustee Kathy Garf and College of Health Dean Kelly Tampenden please escort her to the podium. In honor of her devotion to recreation and sports access in Utah, her founding role in establishing the National Ability Center, and her continued work developing adapted sports programs for people with disabilities across the world, the University of Utah, with its approval of its Board of Trustees, presents to Michi White the Doctor of Humane Letters honorary degree. Congratulations, Dr. White. And it is now my great pleasure to invite Alex Rose, President of the Associated Students of the University of Utah, to introduce our commencement speaker tonight.
Class of 2026, congratulations. For all of you who thought you'd never see this day, you can finally say, I'm here, I made it. I am so proud of each of you. I hope this feeling of accomplishment lifts you for many days to come. It is my honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Arthur Brooks, best-selling author and Harvard professor. As a person who admits he is not naturally happy, Brooks has become one of the world's leading experts on the science of human happiness. He teaches people all over the world how they can live with more joy and bring greater well-being to others. Brooks has been a University of Utah Impact Scholar since 2023. He has visited our campus many times in that role, meeting with our students, faculty, and community leaders to share insights about human flourishing. He is the author of 16 books, including the New York Times #1 bestseller, Build the Life You Want, which he co-authored with Oprah Winfrey. His newest book, The Meaning of Your Life, Finding Purpose in an Age of Emptiness, was released last month. As a gift to grads, the U purchased copies of this book and distributed them at the grad fair. If you didn't get your copy, you can still pick it up at the campus store through Friday. We look forward to being inspired by his words. Please join me in welcoming Arthur Brooks.
Thank you so very much. I'm delighted to be here. It's a true honor for me, President Randall, faculty, trustees, families, and most importantly, graduates. Thank you for inviting me to speak to you today. For years, I have been visiting the University of Utah. It is my Western home, my secondary academic affiliation, a place I love a great deal. And today I'm honored for the first time to speak to you as you celebrate this incredible accomplishment over the last few years of your lives. Now, the job of the keynote speaker at a graduation is to do two things: to give you incredibly inspiring advice and to be done in 20 minutes. So try not to time me, but that's my goal. And I want to talk to you today about something that I wasn't quite prepared to do until last night. I changed my remarks on the basis of what you heard from Gerald Parrott a minute ago. I read the remarks last night. I heard about them and I was inspired, and it reminded me actually of the first time I gave a commencement address a long time ago, nearly 20 years ago. I've done a lot since then. And I heard when you give a commencement address, you need to give people stories of actual success. So I went to the wealthiest person I'd ever met. And I said, tell me the story of your success. And here's what he told me. He said, I grew up in a little town in Kansas on the edge of an apple orchard. One day I was at the apple orchard and I was looking at the beautiful apples in the trees, and the farmer came up to me and he said, you want one, kid? And I said, yeah. He said, you got a nickel? I did. I gave him the nickel, he gave me the apple. I was shining it up on my shirt and I walked into town. A businessman walked up and he said, that's a good looking apple, I'll give you a dime for it. And I said to myself, this friend told me, that's a 100% profit margin. He said, a business was born that day. I took the dime out, came back, made 20 cents. By the end of the week, I was doing a whole box of apples. After a year or two, I was borrowing my uncle's truck and doing truckloads of apples, and this went on for week after week. I doubled my money week after week, month after month, year after year, and then my father died and left me $100 million. And I said to myself, I need better stories. Well, at the time, I was a researcher, and I was doing work on actual success stories of people I admired the most. At the time, I was actually working with a nonprofit organization in Houston called the Prison Entrepreneurship Program. This was a program that had incredible success with people who had come out of the Texas penitentiary system. Now, what do I mean by success? You need to know that in the Texas system, as in most systems around the country, there's about a 50% recidivism rate. That is to say that within the first year, the chances are 50-50 that they're going to wind up back in prison, and there's a 70% unemployment rate, and the two things are not uncorrelated. Well, this organization, what it does is it figures that the lack of opportunity for people who've been through prison means that you need a better way to have a job. Why don't you create it yourself? Therefore, people in their last year of prison are figuring out how to start their own companies. That's the Prison Entrepreneurship Program, and they have a 7% recidivism rate. That's what the startup life actually does. Now, I was studying this program to look at their success, and I thought to myself, small business is obviously the key. I was talking to one of the guys that had gone through it, and I said, what percentage actually start their businesses? And he said, 16%. I said, that doesn't make sense. Why is everybody so successful if they're not actually starting their businesses? And he says, because when we learn about startup businesses, we learn the startup life. And then I knew I had the source for that very first commencement address that I gave. I said, tell me the secrets to your success, Sensei. Tell me what I need to know. What can I do to make my life better? The first thing he said is, you know the real secret to a startup life? Number one, you know what it is? You got to take more risk, man. I asked him, what did you go to prison for? And he said, I robbed a store downstairs from my house. And I said, that's too much risk, man. It sounds to me like you were taking too much risk. And he said, no, you don't understand. That's easy. You know the hard part? You know the thing that I was running away from? Was taking responsibility for my children, which I had never done, and marrying their mother, and giving my life to the Lord. That was risky. And when I learned how to take that kind of risk, my life turned around. When I took a risk with my heart, And that's the first lesson for success for everybody, because a lot of us are really afraid of those kinds of risks. It's one thing to be successful in the marketplace. It's something else to be successful in the affairs that matter the most to you, the relationships that will make you a truly happy person. You know, I was contemplating that some years later, and I thought that's a lesson that I need to teach my students. That's the lesson I need to teach people in their 20s in general, because, you know, I've got the data on this, and the truth of the matter is that people are getting married less. They're forming families less. They're even falling in love less than they used to, and that's a non-entrepreneurial mindset. So I was giving a talk for a large group of 20-somethings, and I said, you want to be a real entrepreneur? Like, yeah, I want to be a real entrepreneur. I said, then give your heart away. Go tell somebody that you're secretly in love with that you love them. I thought it was clever. A couple weeks later, young guy, 26 years old, he comes up to me on an airplane. This is where I spend a lot of time, and he said, you're Dr. Brooks? I said, yeah. He said, I saw that speech you gave about entrepreneurship and affairs of the heart. You know what? I've been secretly in love with a woman in Philadelphia for 2 years. I'm on my way right now to tell her. And I said, it's only a speech. You know, I'm not trying to ruin your life, man. But I said a little prayer for him, you know. I said, let me know. And I didn't hear from him, which is a bad sign. Well, a few months later, I was at a Christmas party, and I saw him across the room, and I went up to him. I said, remember me? He said, yep. Bad sign, too. I said, what happened? What happened? And he said, I told her. She shot me down. I said, I'm sorry. I was very contrite. I said, I didn't mean to mess you up. And he said, no, you don't understand. I've been meaning to call you because I wanted to thank you. And I said, thank me for what? He said, that was the thing I was most afraid of in my life, and it happened, and I didn't die. And now I'm free. You get the point, right? You're afraid of something in your life. You're afraid of something in your heart. Go confess that. Take more risk. And watch your entrepreneurial life improve. Now, the second lesson I learned as I was talking to the guys from the prison entrepreneurship program, well, it came when I was watching one of the participants after he had gotten out of prison and he was living his best life. And one of the things that they all do is they go to high schools and they talk to kids in high schools and they give them tips, and they all start their little speech the same way. They tell them a story about how they wound up in prison. They all tell them a story about the worst day of their life. And Jerry did that too. You notice that? He didn't come up here and say, you know, I'm graduating from an incredibly prestigious, high-quality university today. He said, I came a long way, and it started from a low point. Because this is the second part of the startup life, is that you lead with your weaknesses without fear, not your strengths. You all have weaknesses, so do I. But the truth of the matter is that your strengths, going to this fine university, getting your degree, going into getting a good job, that doesn't connect you with anybody, really. That is to say, I'm better than you, not good. But if you want to connect with people in a real way, which is to say you want to be successful in your life and you want to be happy, connect with your weaknesses and honesty. The Apostle Paul said, when I'm weak, then I'm strong. And that's what he meant. So are you doing that? I have found that that is exactly what a lot of the most successful entrepreneurs wind up doing. I had the privilege of being friends with Bernie Marcus, the founder of the Home Depot, before he passed away. And when I asked him about the story of his success, he started by telling me about his early bankruptcies. He said it was so bad that his wife didn't trust him to shave with a razor blade alone in the bathroom. I think that was hyperbole. Nonetheless, he talked about his failures. He didn't talk about his victories, because that's actually what made his victories sweeter, and it made it possible for him, for me, to connect to him as a real person and not as some sort of entrepreneurial icon. I was relating this to a close friend of mine who's an incredibly successful practitioner in drug and alcohol rehabilitation. He's kind of a legendary figure in his community. So many lives that he's turned around in the way he's counseled people. And I said, how did you know that this was your strength? How did you know that you could do this so incredibly well? When did you know? And he said, the night that I drove drunk and killed a girl. He was a senior in college, and he was driving home from a party. He was a privileged kid. He was the 5th generation scion of a publishing family in New York, rich, destined for wealth and privilege. And he partied his way through college, didn't take it really seriously. Why should he? Coming home from a party blind drunk one night, ran somebody over, killed her. There was no escaping that one, even with a high-priced lawyer from his rich father, and he spent 6 months in jail. It gave him plenty of time to think. And the question he asked himself is, what does this mean? Does this mean that I'm supposed to run away from it for the rest of my life? Or maybe this means that this is my connection to the rest of humanity because people are hurting just like me. And maybe God's will for my life is actually to connect in a bridge to them through what happened to me on that faithful night. When he got out, finished his bachelor's degree, did a master in social work, and became a drug and alcohol rehabilitation counselor. I said, that's an inspiring story. And he said, yeah, and everybody has one like that. What's yours? And I felt ashamed. I didn't want to say, because the truth is, I have one too. I have one too. I didn't go to jail, nothing like that. It's just a dumb thing. But here's it is. I'm an academic. My father was an academic. His father was an academic. This is the family business. I'm proud of it. I love it. I will be an academic till my dying day. But I don't have the pedigree that you have. I didn't have this experience that you had. I wanted to, but I didn't. I went to college when I was 18, and I screwed around, and I failed my classes, and, well, dropped out, kicked out, splitting hairs. I was invited to pursue my excellence elsewhere by the college. So I went on the road doing the only thing I knew how to do. I became a professional classical musician. I was a French horn player. And I did that, and it was fine. I made more or less a living. I wound up in the Barcelona City Orchestra, and that's where I, became an adult. I married my wife, who's from Barcelona, and started my family. And by the time I was 28, I was ready to go back to college. But I didn't have any money. So I went to correspondence school. I studied my correspondence as hard as I possibly could, and I graduated a month before my 30th birthday. Yeah, and when I got that degree, I thought to myself, the sky's the limit. Now I'm legit. Now my father will be proud of me. And I said, you know what will really make him proud of me? I'm going to go to graduate school at Harvard. And so I applied to Harvard. And I was really confident, I have to say, because I got good grades in correspondence school. I got rejected from Harvard in 10 days. And here's the thing about it. It's even worse than that. I was married at the time, and I said to my wife, I'm going to call them and see how close I came. And she says, are you insane? So I called up the admissions officer at Harvard University, where I was applying to do my PhD program, and I said, I'm so-and-so, and I would like to see how close. I was just rejected. She said, I'm sorry. I said, no, don't worry, but I'd like to see how close I came. And could you check? And she said, all right. And I heard her, this is the days before they would look on the computer. She was rustling around in a file cabinet. She came back after taking my name, and she said, not close. It was incredibly humiliating. Well, I found a place that would take me as a doctoral student, and I left all that behind. Years later, it kind of came back to haunt me. Years later, it did, because I went to get a professorship after finishing my PhD, after my first position, and then I went to run a big think tank in Washington, D.C., a famous place called the American Enterprise Institute. All of the scholars that I employed, they were university professors from famous places like this, highest quality universities, and none of them knew my academic background, and I never told anybody. I hired a scholar to do research on higher education. A scholar on higher education, for higher education reform, to make it better. And I brought him in my office on his first day, and I said, so what are you going to do research on? What's your big project? And he said, I've always wanted to do an investigation into fly-by-night correspondence schools. And I said, oh boy, this isn't going to be good. And sure enough, within a week, he wrote me an email saying, I saw here on the internet that you're a graduate of this institution. This is obviously a mistake. You need to get this cleared up. So I went to my wife and said, what do I do? I don't know what to do. And she said, it's time for you to take ownership over that. I think you should write about it in the New York Times. Because here's the thing. I'm here today because of that place, because of the correspondence education, because somebody gave me an opportunity. And I didn't want to admit it. You want to know why? Because I'm an elitist against me, which is kind of ironic. So I took responsibility for it. And that was the day that my life really started to change for the better, when I started to lead with these weaknesses. These were lessons I didn't learn from the richest people in the world. These were lessons that I learned the good old-fashioned American way, which was from people at the margins of society who made great things from their lives. This is an example, this university is an example of how everybody can lift themselves up through hard work and merit and personal responsibility and a great community of people who help them along the way. I'm so proud of that. So here's what I want you to remember as you go forward. There's a lot to be proud of. You have a lot of strengths. Don't be safe. Take a risk in what really matters the most to you. In the next few years, the greatest thing that you're going to do for your startup life is the person you're going to fall in love with and the family you're going to build. And then for the rest of your life, connect with other people, not through the strengths that you exhibit this day, but through the weaknesses that connect you to your sisters and brothers. I didn't finish that last story, so let me finish in closing. I wrote that article in the New York Times called My Cheap, Valuable College Degree, because I got the whole degree for $10,000 in today's dollars, including the books, and including a sticker for the car that I was ashamed to put on my car. And one of the people who read that article that I wrote for the New York Times was the president of that very school. And he called me up and he said, I want you to be our graduation speaker. And that was the first graduation speech I ever gave that I talked about at the very beginning of my remarks. And here's the thing. It was at the Trenton Ice Arena. And I got there and there were 5,000 people in that arena cheering for their family members. Hundreds of family members, most of whom had never been to college. They weren't like me, having screwed up and dropped out. These were people who were born at the margins of society. On the contrary, a third were active military. Most had never set foot inside a classroom since they barely made it through high school, as a matter of fact, and they'd made something important of their lives. And here's the moment that I really remembered. And I gave a speech about something I can't even remember at this point. It was insignificant. But I was watching the graduates, and in each person, there was hundreds. They were crossing the stage, getting their diplomas, and they got to get their diploma when somebody said their name, and they got to say one sentence. Each one got to say one sentence. There was not enough time for everybody to give a speech. One sentence. So one woman is crossing the stage. She's probably 50. And she's got lines on her face. She's lived, man. Clearly, this is not somebody from an academic family. And here's what she said. She held up her diploma, and she said, for this day, I want to thank my 5 kids, my husband, and the Son of the living God. And I said, that's my person. That's my hero. That's the person that I want to be. That's the story that really inspires me to live my best life. And that's what we can all live here. That's success, the good old-fashioned American way. Congratulations. God bless you, and thank you.
Arthur, that was inspiring. You've been with us a number of years, and each time you come, we feel uplifted. We appreciate your remarkable work, and thank goodness for correspondence courses is all I can say. We appreciate you. Today, as we celebrate this amazingly great milestone of graduation, I'm mindful of the meaning that comes from relationships and service to others. And I really appreciate you sharing all of your perspectives. So thanks again. You know, class of 2026, as you leave our campus, you've got to remember that you're really not leaving us behind, whether you like it or not. You're about to join the incredible University of Utah alumni family that is more than 300,000 strong worldwide. And speaking as a fellow alum, we are absolutely thrilled to have you. So please welcome to the podium President of the U Alumni Board of Governors, Jamie Sorensen.
Graduates, today you will join a community of proud alumni of the University of Utah. To give you a glimpse of how big that community is, will everyone in our audience who attended the U please stand if you are able. All of you right here, you can stand. You all attended the U, right here in front. Thank you. Please be seated. Students, from now on, you are part of a select group that is woven together by shared experiences and common goals. I especially want to recognize the 22 graduates who have been selected for this year's class of the Beehive Honor Society, sponsored by U Alumni. These students exemplify the vision of U Alumni to be outstanding leaders in the community who aspire to build meaningful connections by serving others. All of you are important to us. To help keep you engaged with the U Alumni community post-graduation, we launched a program called Ask an Alum, which connects students and alumni through quick, real conversations so you can get guidance and perspective when you need it most. I encourage you to use this tool to request career advice, find insight for life transitions, or swap entrepreneurial experiences. Download the Utah 360 app to learn more about what it means to be a part of this amazing alumni support system. And now, here is a little bit about the legacy of our alumni community.
Congratulations, class of 2026. You did it. The papers are written, the group projects survived, the late night study sessions powered by caffeine and questionable food choices, all behind you. But here's something they may not have mentioned during orientation. Graduation doesn't mean you're leaving the University of Utah behind. It means you're joining something even bigger. You are now part of the U Alumni community. 300,000 strong and growing. That's right, 300,000 potential mentors, collaborators, hiring managers, industry leaders, and allies ready to help you on your road to success. Need career advice? Someone in the alumni network has been there. Looking for your first big opportunity? Someone in the network might be hiring. Want to connect with fellow Utah alums in a new city? Good news, they're already there. Because no matter where life takes you, Salt Lake City, New York, Seoul, or somewhere completely unexpected, there's a good chance a Utah alum is nearby. And the best part? Membership is free and automatic. No subscription, no hidden fees, just a global community of Utah alumni ready to support each other. So as you step into whatever comes next, your first job, your next adventure, or the next big idea, remember this, you're not doing it alone. Welcome to the U Alumni community. And once again, congratulations, class of 2026.
Never forget, once a U alum, always a U alum. Congratulations, class of 2026.
We'll now proceed with the conferral of degrees. We would love to give each of you a handshake along with your diploma right now, but we're not going to do that. Each of you will have that opportunity to do that at your college convocations. Please know that this ceremony represents our collective pride and appreciation for all that you have accomplished individually. In a few weeks, we'll be granting degrees to 133 students from the S.J. Quinney College of Law, 415 students from the Spencer Fox Eccles School of Medicine, 49 students from the School of Dentistry, 61 students from the College of Pharmacy, including the inaugural graduating class from our brand new one-year Pharmacy Master's Program. Now, Daryl Butt, Dean of the Graduate School, will present the candidates for graduate degrees.
Thank you, President Randall. As Dean of the Graduate School, this is truly a privilege to present the candidates for graduate degrees. Graduate degrees are recognized as the highest level of academic achievement in the academy. As graduate students, you have contributed to the education of our undergraduates as teaching assistants and mentors, and you have supported research and careers of our faculty and staff as you've sought to develop new insights and solutions to our shared human and global challenges. Many of you are wearing green robes or cords on your regalia. These are representative of your commitment to sustainability and philanthropy. Thank you for that. And here we go. The faculties of the Graduate School have documented your achievements, and tonight we are gathered to recognize your accomplishments as our now colleagues and peers. President Randall, it is my honor and pleasure to present the candidates who are here to receive the following doctoral degrees. And it's okay to get a little bit rowdy and cheer, undergrads especially. You're cheering on your colleagues and your peers who help support you along the way. Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Dentistry, Doctor of Education, Doctor of Musical Arts, Doctor of Nursing Practice, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Doctor of Pharmacy, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Juris Doctorate, Medical Doctorate, and Education Specialist. As you are able, will all the candidates for doctoral degrees please stand and be recognized by your peers and the President of the University of Utah.
Please remain standing. By virtue of the authority vested in me as President of the University of Utah by the people of Utah, acting through their representatives in the legislature and on the Utah Board of Higher Education, and on the recommendation of the university's faculty and Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the doctoral degree for which you have qualified, which entitles you to all the rights, privileges, and honors hereto pertaining. Congratulations. You may be seated.
And there's more. President Randall, it is also my honor to present the candidates who are here to receive the following master's degrees. Can I have a drum roll, please? That was good. Just testing if they're awake. Master of Accounting, Master of Architecture, Master of Arts, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Athletic Training, Master of Business Administration, Master of Business Creation, Master of City and Metropolitan Planning, Master of Education, Master of Engineering, Master of Engineering Management. That's a new program. Master of Entertainment Arts and Engineering, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Healthcare Administration, Master of Laws, Master of Legal Studies, Master of Music, Master of Occupational Health, Master of Occupational Therapy, Master of Philosophy, Master of Physician Assistant Studies, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Public Policy, Master of Real Estate Development, Master of Science, Master of Statistics, Master of Social Work, Master of Software Development, and finally, my favorite, Professional Science Master. As you are able, will the candidates for the master's degrees please stand and be recognized by your peers and the President of the University of Utah.
By virtue of the authority vested in me as President of the University of Utah by the people of Utah, acting through their representatives in the legislature and on the Utah Board of Higher Education, and on the recommendation of the university's faculty and Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the master's degree for which you have qualified, which entitles you to all the rights, privileges, and honors thereto pertaining. Congratulations. I now invite Mitzi Montoya, Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, to the podium.
Okay, we have come to the moment that many of you have been waiting for, the presentation of the candidates for bachelor's degrees. Before we begin, though, I want to recognize the 174 students in this class who are receiving the Undergraduate Research Scholars designation and the 295 students graduating with university honors degrees. Congratulations. It is now my great pleasure to present the candidates for Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Social Work, and Bachelor of University Studies. So here's how this goes. I'm going to invite my colleagues, the academic leaders on campus, our deans, to present the candidates from their respective colleges. So this is a bit of a competition, so you need to cheer loudly for your college and for your dean when they announce you. They get better every year, and I believe they were supposed to have 100 words each, but we'll see how it goes. So, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, first up is Dean Arnab Chakraborty.
Thank you, Provost. This is meant to be a shout out. So friends, families, grads, and colleagues, get ready to clap your hands and stomp your feet for graduates who will be design thinkers and community builders, playmakers and environmental caretakers. They will make our built and virtual spaces safer, more accessible and sustainable than ever. They will tackle housing costs and help clean the air, create age-friendly communities with dignity and care. Some will save and shape cities worthy of fame, or build the next Pokemon Go that changes the game. They will design places where all can belong and create experiences that connect and help us go strong. Arts, engineering, sciences, oh, they're great. But without us, there is no place and no communities to celebrate. So candidates from the College of Architecture and Planning, which includes design and games, please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated. Go Utes.
Dean Kurt Dirks.
All right, David Eccles School of Business graduates, let's go. I'm speaking to you. I am proud of you. We are proud of you. We have watched you put in the work to be great, studying hard, pushing your limits, starting businesses, and leading on this campus and in our school. And you did it with style. Building lifelong relationships, cheering at the muss, kicking field goals on ESPN game day. Yeah, and maybe some of you skied a little too much. Hey, but that's all right. You understood the assignment, as the saying goes. But don't turn that off. Keep learning, keep pushing, keep building, keep leading, and keep bringing that energy. And that is what makes an Eccles student. So graduates of the David Eccles School of Business, please rise and be recognized. And as always, go Utes! You may be seated.
Dean Frankie Santos Laanan.
Will the graduates of the College of Education, the architects of human potential, the knowledge cultivators and champions of opportunity, and the bridge builders who turn the spark of curiosity into the flame of learning, you who shape every profession and transform every life. Graduates, go forward, lead with purpose, teach with courage, and build the future that our world deeply needs. Will the graduates of the College of Education please rise and be recognized? Woo! Yeah. Always remember, your College of Education family is forever proud of you, and we love you. You may be seated.
Dean Charles Musgrave.
Get ready to put your hands together for engineers. Engineers don't just imagine the future, we build it. We feed the world, fly humanity across the oceans, put man on the moon, stream Netflix to every couch, and put computers in every pocket. And we're just getting started. The graduates rising today will go further. They'll build AI that reasons, robots that work beside us, clean energy that powers the planet, lunar bases, asteroid mines, and colonies in space. They inherit a legacy from Utah engineers who gave the world the first artificial heart, the first bionic eye, invented computer graphics and the personal computer, and founded great companies such as Adobe, Pixar, Atari, and mom's favorite, Chuck E. Cheese. The Stone Age didn't end just because we ran out of stones. It ended because engineers had better ideas. Graduates of the John and Marcia Price College of Engineering, please rise and be celebrated.
Dean John Scheib.
Will all the amazing artists, the courageous creatives, the professional players, performers, and portrayers, whose work awakens, inspires, and deepens our humanity, and in times like these, helps keep our sanity. The designers, actors, dancers, and movie makers, the musicians, scholars, arts educators, creators, and curators in the College of Fine Arts, please rise, take a bow, and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated.
Dean Kelly Tappenden.
These graduates are champions of human potential. They push it past its limits, they protect it, they restore it or adapt when it falters. They are not just smart, they are wise. They are not just caring, they are compassionate. And they are not just committed, they are strong. Will graduates of the College of Health please rise, strike a pose, and be recognized? There you are. Thank you. Congratulations.
Dean Wanda Pillow.
All right, humanities, make some noise in the house. We are the only college that has human in its title, I'm just saying. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the incredible community of transformative thinkers, world builders, knowledge producers, writers, journalists, analysts, collaborators, connectors, cool creators, and civic leaders who study every aspect of what it means to be human. I present the unflinching historians, provocative philosophers, analytic linguistics, versatile communicators, our insightful English students, environmental specialists, intrepid explorers of international area studies and world languages and cultures, purposeful students of writing and rhetoric, and our bold scholars, of ethnic studies, gender studies, and disability studies. Graduates of the College of Humanities, you light up our lives. Please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated.
Dean Marla DeJong.
Nurses and gerontologists serve across every setting where healthcare is delivered, even at this very moment. They lead the advancement of high-quality healthcare for all, and they exemplify trust, excellence, and professional integrity. Well, the nursing and gerontology candidates from the College of Nursing, who will advance wellness and prevent illness, make and translate scientific discoveries that transform healthcare, shape the future of healthcare with equity at its core, and improve health outcomes for individuals and communities throughout Utah and beyond. Please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated.
Dean Pearl Sandick.
College of Science, where are you? Today, we celebrate your perseverance, your achievement, and your noble pursuit to understand more of the natural world. You have explored everything from the atomic to the astronomical, from genetics to critical minerals, from mathematical systems to Earth's dynamic systems. You have learned and applied knowledge and hypothesized and built things and discovered what it is to discover. The world needs your big ideas, your insights, and the skills you've spent years developing. You are the critical thinkers of tomorrow, the innovators of solutions to society's most pressing problems, and the creators of a better future. Graduates of the College of Science and the College of Mines and Earth Sciences, please rise and be recognized. Thank you. You may be seated.
Dean Michelle Camacho.
Graduating students of the College of Social and Behavioral Science. With emotional intelligence and data analytic skills, you boldly pursue solutions to fix the problems that others have created. Your methods and your leadership are durable talents that will confront our society's behavioral, criminological, and environmental crises. Your insights will strengthen families and institutions and guide communities through contemporary realities ranging from climate change and global migration to technological change and human connection. Your collaborative spirit will inspire us, connect us, energize us, and lead us into the future. CSBS Class of 2026, please rise. ¡Levanten los brazos! ¡Felicidades! ¡Vámonos! ¡Go Utah!
Dean Philip Osteen.
Good evening, Mr. President, guests, and graduates. Social work is the profession that leans in and leads out when life is hardest. And today it is these graduates who step forward to embrace this noble profession, not for money or stature, but because they are called to a life and career of service. They have learned to stand at the crossroads of people and systems, to turn policy into care and compassion into change. They remind us that progress is measured not only by what we achieve, but by whom we choose to serve. We stand on the fundamental truth that together we are better. In addition to the countless hours of reading, writing, and critical reflection, our 2026 graduates collectively provided more than 330,000 hours of service through their practicum placements, often unpaid. And not that we could put a price on that, it is more than a $15 million investment in hope in the great people of Utah and beyond. So please, graduates of the College of Social Work, please rise, wave, shout, anything to make yourself known. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Will all the bachelor's candidates please rise once more? Everybody up. It is with pleasure that the university recognizes undergraduates and welcomes those candidates who stand before us into our alumni ranks. By virtue of the authority vested in me as president of the University of Utah by the people of Utah, acting through their representatives in the legislature and on the Utah Board of, the behalf of the Utah Board of Higher Education and on the recommendation of the university's faculty and Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the baccalaureate degree and certificate for which you have qualified, which entitles you to all the rights, honors, privileges, and honors thereto pertaining. Please accept our warmest and heartiest congratulations. You may be seated. I encourage all of you to attend your individual college convocations. They provide an incredible opportunity to celebrate and commemorate this great event with the peers, the faculty, the staff, your family, friends who have supported you. And congratulations again. We wish you ongoing success. I believe the world is in incredible hands. We do this because of you, because we have an incredible hope in the future of humanity, that each of you will run at the large problems of society, that you will solve them, that together we will create peace on earth, that we will create remarkable communities that are resilient, inclusive, and building. Thank you. Thank you for attending this university. Audience, join me once more in recognition of this talented class. Our thanks to all who have helped and arranged this commencement, to the University of Utah Wind Ensemble conducted by Jason Missel, our Director of Bands and Assistant Professor of Music. Thank you to everyone who's joined us tonight. Let us now rise to honor the graduates of 2026 as the pride of Utah. The University of Utah Marching Band, one more time, plays the Utah Fight Song.
audience please remain standing for the recessional? This concludes the 157th Annual Commencement and Conferral of all certificates and degrees by the University of Utah.